We're going to do a little podcast. Hey, I'm Matt Hill. I'm with Knight Oil Tools. I'm here at the Mid-Continent Oilman's Golf Tournament in Oklahoma City, and we're just getting some friends together to talk a little bit about oil and gas, and hopefully learn a little bit about each other and what we do, and maybe we can network with you and see how we can help you. This is Ken. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Guys, Ken Lavin, Winter Mud, sales manager there. We're a full-service drilling mud company. Been in the oil and gas industry for, about to go on 17 years. So great to be here. I'm probably the entertainment of the crowd that we have right now, but that's okay.
Poor people.
Yeah, total normal. But yeah, great to support our industry, and yeah, get to introduce some guys and try and get this social media platform for the oil and gas guys to where, hey, guess what? We're hip and cool. We were out there too. So we're here, we're there.
And we also have a lot of people on the other side of our industry that are opponents of it that get a platform, and so we've found that it's a good way to spread the word about just how much oil and gas does for everyone on our planet. We're blessed today to have a very dear friend of mine, Rusty, with us today, and I'm just going to let him take it over and introduce himself and who he's with and what he does.
Hey, thanks, Matt. So, Rusty Dailey, Crescent Consulting here in Oklahoma City. We also have an office in Midland, but we're out here at the 20 Hills Golf and Country Club today for the Oklahoma City Oilman's 53rd annual. Have 350 golfers out here this week. Started on Wednesday. Unfortunately, we got some weather delay today, so we came inside. These guys set their podcast up, but we had a pretty good turnout. We had the option to make a hole-in-one challenge on hole number 7, so we had a GX 460 Lexus offered out there, very gracious from Eskridge Honda and Lexus here in town, so we thank them for supporting that cause. We had some other vendors out. I seen Ulterra out there cooking and Drillco cooking, so we appreciate those guys supporting us as the market's down. So it's tight budgets, but we had some people out here supporting us, so that's what we have going on today. So thanks, Matt.
No, thank you for coming. Rusty, I love what Crescent Energy does as a company. Tell us a little bit about what all they offer for the oil field.
Okay, so as the market has leaned up for the past probably year and a half, and obviously in the last 3 or 4 months, offices are getting leaner. They're having to cut off staff that may not be busy 365 days a year. So you're starting to see folk lean on consulting firms, bringing in a la carte services, if you will. If you need a geologist, if you need a reservoir engineer, if you need a completion engineer, a drilling engineer, if you need pumpers, you need facility engineers, you need facility engineers, production engineers watching your production day in, day out on a kind of a consulting fee or on a retainer that's available to people. So therefore, you wouldn't have to hire a production engineer in your office. You can retain these guys, use them as needed, and firms like ours, or Crescent Consulting, will offer the pumpers, the location support on a daily basis, production engineers watching those guys and reporting that data to the lean offices, to the operators. So we're able to greatly reduce their overhead, their employment at their office, yet give them a flexible service that they can scale down and keep their cost in line. Actually, so at the end of the day, they're actually more profitable. Only utilizing expertise as needed.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a lot of business just all over Oklahoma, or do you have it on Oklahoma, Texas? You offer your services in every basin?
Yeah, in every basin. So, like a lot of companies, we have about 350 MSAs with various operators. So we've got 90 guys working right now today across the U.S. So roughly 180 a month working, and we have 8 in-house engineers at Crescent. So they're handling everything from AFE to procurement services. We have a regulatory team that people lean on, at this time to as they're cutting the regulatory staff because they're not needed all the time. We've jumped in to fill that role.
Do you see what you do as a growing industry area for businesses like yours? They're going to be more than ever reaching out to companies to take over their entire project management?
Yes, as operators understand, the process and they start looking at the pricing structure and they start realizing, okay, I'm not utilizing my staff every day. I mean, I might be using them 3 months, I might be using 4 months. I can consult that out and save that money, over a yearly
Overhead
process.
costs, yeah.
What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding about what you do for operators when they're trying to decide between hire versus consult, and they recognize you're out there as a potential candidate? What's the biggest misunderstanding you think people have about what you do?
They might not realize the available talent that's available as a consultant. Okay, the expertise that's available. You can find great expertise and plug that in to the right scenario. You can find a very experienced person for your basin, your particular basin, versus having an employee that might understand, let's say, the Northeast, but not really comfortable in Permian. Okay, you can find a perfect fit for each basin as a consultant. So that really makes it nice to plug in exactly what you need versus having one person try to cover everything.
Do you have any idea on maybe what your company offers versus other consulting firms out there?
So as a consulting firm, you have to really understand FLSA and OSHA requirements and paying these guys hourly, structuring either W-2 or 1099 model, and offering an MSA contract with each one of your consultants that covers them. It also covers you as an operator and any other third-party contractors out there from FLSA concerns. And they're also we also offer general professional liability to each one of the consultants, which some firms may not. It is an expensive insurance, but you're also covered in case any litigation was to happen on location. You have that coverage. So that's important as a consultant, that you read the documentation and understand that you are covered in case a litigation comes, because some firms don't cover that. So what they might offer is a lower percent off your pay, but they may not offer you coverage. They may not offer you general liability. They won't offer you professional liability. So that's a concern if you're a consultant, to understand your coverage. Also, understand if your firm offers health care, and how is that health care offered? Is that taken out of your paycheck, or is it taken out of a draft, like a bank account draft? It's important to understand if you have a health care, let's try to get that drafted out of your bank account in case you miss a couple months of work. If you miss a couple months of work, we can draft that out of your checking account and you still have health care. If it's drafted out of a paycheck, your insurance is gone. So let's try to understand where they're pulling that money from for your health care. Understand, do they have a dental? Do they have a vision? And you put all this together and you form the best package you can for those guys.
Do you see with so many oilfield services companies also taking a look at their employment, and we've all of our companies, I'm sure, have been through cuts. Do you see more often that even service companies are calling you and seeing if you have the right people for what they do?
So yeah, roughly 20% of our consulting staff is going to service companies. So you could facilitate someone's field office. If you just need someone temporary to clean up, do yard work, just do general things around your facilities, you can lean a consultant to do that. Even if it's a small wage, it could be structured in a way that you can bring those guys in and out on a consultant basis. Then they're going to have the general liability. They got the professional liability. They got healthcare options. So you're not just leaving them hanging out to dry, if you will. This is not like it used to be. As a consultant, you have benefits that come along with that. So that's nice.
We've seen those benefits too. Us being a service company, I'll talk about that. We've worked with you guys. We're actually in the process of putting in operations for you guys to help out with different costs and different products, things like that. So we're teaming together with the consulting firms, us as service companies, to actually, tag team together when y'all need a service or y'all needing a product that y'all don't have, or vice versa. We're teaming together on those too. So yeah, that's been huge help for us.
Yeah, so we have a procurement service that will do that for the operators, pull pricing from the areas that we're familiar with, not all operators are familiar with every basin, right? So they need to find someone specific that understands the services available. And as the times change, there's not as many services as there was 4 months ago. So understanding who's still there, the pricing structure that's current, and having someone that with knowledge to get you the proper price for the current conditions in the ever-changing market.
It's changing. I mean, we're all coming up with new innovative ways to help each other, support each other, our industry, our careers. Luckily, the oil field is a very tight-knit family. I know we all consider it a family, and really just are always looking for new ways to see what we can do to push the industry forward. On a personal note, let's just find out a little bit more about you. How long have you been in this industry?
Let's see, going on 17 years in the oil field. Started out in the field, started out as a mud engineer. Had a great time. Started out in southeast Oklahoma when gas was, $14 an MCF, and horizontal laterals were just taking off. 24-hour service of service companies were required, started to be required. So it was a great learning experience and a good way to get my feet wet in the oil field and just advance from there. So it's been good. So I got 4 boys that are active all the time. So I'm busy with those guys, but oil field's been a great lifestyle so far. We'll hope to continue that.
Yeah, the balance of oil field life and family has always been an interesting experience for all of us here. Do you, during the COVID, how have your guys' offices worked? Have you guys done a lot more meetings over a Zoom, over the phone? Are you officing at home?
We've done a little bit of combination of both, so we've done more Skype, more team meetings, just like everybody. But we also have a safety application that's been a big help, beneficial. So we use a company called iScout to help send out learning modules, and they can also take modules on their phone. From HTS training to tie off to confined spaces, that stuff is available on their phone or on their computer. So you're not having to go to a classroom. So when you get into social distancing, that's helpful to have these guys where they can do it on their own, not having to go somewhere. It's also got COVID-19 training on it. So ever since March, we've been sending updates on social distancing, cleaning, just how it's spread. And send those out. And those guys take the modules, and it checks off to their operators that, hey, these guys have done these 3 or 4 COVID trainings. They understand it. So it gives you a little bit of peace of mind that your guys in the field are understanding and conscious of how this thing spreads. Not to spread it to their employees, right? So it makes you have a little bit of peace of mind. And all this is contained in their portal. Every guy's got their own portal. It's got all their profile in it. Each operator's got to log in, and they can share that with everybody in the office. So all their consultants in the
That's
field,
cool.
You can have 25, 30 different consultants. They're all contained on your app, and you can share this app with everybody in the office. Not only does it have their resume, but it's got all their certifications. It's got all their contact information. It's got email address and phone numbers. So let's say, unfortunately someone in your office gets sick. Okay, we got to hand this information over to your partner. All this stuff is contained in this app, so they can get on it as well. So everybody's got access to everyone, the consultants, which is really nice because that's not how it's always been. You might not know who's on your location, or what kind of certifications they have, or the history they have, but now you can get it in seconds because it's all contained in that app. So, and we've had calls from CEOs that didn't quite understand on a flowback, if they've had an issue, what kind of experience does that guy have out there on location? Well, now he's got that information. And these guys are really what's pushed the industry. It's like, I want to know who's on my flowback, or I want to know who's out on location when an event takes place, what kind of certifications they have. And these guys can pull it up 24 hours a day. It's in the palm of their hand. So that's a big step.
Huge.
And going forward, if we're going to keep bringing that in, we've been doing a lot more social media push and you're not able to meet with people, but you can send them information, make it, good information that's valuable to them.
Slowly but surely, the whole field is learning social media.
Right.
Appreciative of it, the free platforms that have been able to help us all disperse information.
So try to make it concise, try to make it important, give them the facts they want, where it's not overwhelmed with a bunch of garbage.
Yeah. We're going to wrap this up. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that might tune in, and we so much appreciate my good friend Rusty Dailey with
Thank
Crescent
you.
Consulting.
Thank you.
They're big sponsors of just about every